It's Tap That Trade time. Joining us for fun and games, Phil Flynn, a Fox Business Network contributor, and Alan Nuckman, the chief market strategist for St. Paul Research. Here we go with your round number one, guys. Baby bonds. Baby bonds are a new proposal to help close the wealth divide. Unlike regular bonds, these bonds are not a debt instrument traded in the public markets. Instead, it's a federal trust fund account for every newborn baby in the U.S. Everybody loves babies, but is the bond rate boom over?
All right, we haven't had a baby boom, but what this would do is it set things up so that, let's say 20 years after the babies are born, based on the average rate of inflation, that bond would double in value. So I think that's a good idea. But to get back to bonds, that's the biggest story in the markets in the last couple of weeks, that we've seen rates actually go down to make 3-month plus lows, even though everybody was so worried about the Fed. And you can see the market didn't care. We made new all-time highs.
I think the baby bond idea is a great idea, and it's something that actually we proposed, or I proposed on this show years ago when we were talking about the privatizing of Social Security. And it's kind of the same theory. You know, my theory is that the difference between rich and poor people is they're not in the financial markets and rich people are. And I was all for giving a tax credit to have, poor people get involved in the market, either in a bond or a stock or some kind of a 401k-like instrument. And that would help get the difference between the gap between the rich and the poor. So I'm glad that they're revisiting this because, listen, we can't print enough money forever, to pay everybody's salary. But if we put them in the markets, the economy will grow. And I think this is a great idea to, level out the wealth gap.
Round number two, oil Benjamins. Record numbers of 100 call options in crude oil are in the market as oil is trading around $73 per barrel. Are those lottery tickets or are those legit?
I think there's some real strong fundamentals that are pointing towards the fact that oil prices are going to go sharply higher. The question is when? I believe oil is going to hit $100 a barrel, but is it going to hit it this year or next year or the year after? And that's the big problem with these options. But I will say this. If you had bought these options early on, say 3 months ago or 4 months ago, you could have more than doubled or tripled your money, and even though, it may never get to $100, if you bought those options earlier, hey, you've already, made a good investment. So I think that there's still some upside in oil. I still think you can play with these $100 calls, but you might not want to wait till expiration because they might not quite get there, but it doesn't matter. Just as long as you see a sharp upward move, you're going to be able to take a profit.
Exactly. Now, I'm an in-the-money options guy because I'm all about probability. And those are, low odds. Not to say that it can't happen. Anything can happen. And if you have a feeling something's going to happen, the way to play it is with options because you have absolutely limited risk. Now, they're looking at 2022 $100 calls, or 60,000 of them in open interest, and they've doubled in value, like Phil said. The question is, they don't have to get to 100 for you to make money. They just have to get more valuable than what you pay. Also, there's the 2021 options. $100 oil doesn't seem that far away. What's important here is we got above the 70 pivot. We dropped from 110 way back in 2014 down to, let's just say 30, because I don't believe that zero really counts. It was such an aberration. But we dropped to 30, so the 70 is a midpoint pivot that is important that we're back above.
Yeah, the zero only counted if you were long the market at the time. Other than that, it doesn't count.
Round number three, short list. The Reddit traders are always on the lookout for short squeeze stocks. Are you in the market for a short squeeze?
Well, I've been talking short squeeze stocks for a long time, and I don't look at them as meme stocks. I look at them as they get oversold, and I still look for stocks that make new lows but don't make new highs in volatility, meaning at some point the shorts are going to have to cover. Now, there's two rules that people follow. They want to have a short interest of 10% of the flow to the stock, and they also want to have a rule of 10 days it would take for the shorts to cover based on average volume. So the one stock that I like is Tootsie Roll. They did this to Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll is still between 30 and 35 for 1 year, but they did it earlier and they rallied it to 60. So it could happen again if the trading bros get on board.
I was going to pick Tootsie Roll as well, because I love
Chicago.
Tootsie Rolls. I love it. It's a Chicago company, and they've been around for forever. But, the other one I like is Battlestar Galactica. No, I'm sorry. What is it? No, I'm going to say it the wrong way. What is Virgin Galactica? Thank you very much. The Richard Branson stock. This stock has been going up and crazy a little bit, but this is one of these long-term things that I think the Reddit crowd is going to embrace, because what more do they not like but these kind of stocks that have more of a forward-looking type of a situation going on. They're used to Star Wars, they're used to Battlestar Galactica. I think this is going to be one to keep an eye on.
That's great, Phil, because our bonus round question is about the new space race. True or false? For $125,000, you can take a ride in a luxury space balloon.
I'd say true.
Well, I think it was $30 million is what they charged somebody to go on that next space trip. So that seems like a bargain. So let's say yes, true.
Yeah, but this is a balloon. The odds of you getting there are a lot less. So,
It's true. It just launched. Well, thanks for riding in our beautiful balloon. Business First AM continues right after this. Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.